Good evening, everybody, and welcome to tonight's regular City of Cedar Falls Council meeting for Monday, January 5th. Happy New Year, everybody. And I will call this meeting to order. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Schultz.
Here.
Latta.
Here.
Nagel.
Here.
Albaker.
Here.
Fairbanks.
Here.
Chrisman. Here. Dunn.
Here.
All members present, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Madam Clerk, and welcome to our two new council members, Craig and Tom. Good to have you. Let's see, and if willing and able, could everyone please join for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Yeah.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone. Look for a motion to approve the regular meeting minutes of December 15th.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second, that should clarify 2025. It's a new year. So motion second, any discussion from council? Seeing none, any from the public? All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? That motion carries. Madam Clerk, any agenda revisions?
I have no agenda revisions, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. And that'll move us to public forum. So speakers will have one opportunity to speak for up to 5 minutes on topics relevant to city business. And if it's an item that's on the agenda, please wait for that item. Otherwise, you can talk about anything else at this time. Is there anyone here from the public that would wish to speak tonight? Just name and address for the record, please.
Kim Jordan, 2018 Minnetonka Drive, Cedar Falls. I just stumbled on the way up here, and part of it is loss of function, which kind of is one of those things that you don't expect to happen in your life, and you start to realize, boy, we need amenities. And it's odd, you know, growing up, living in a community, watching things grow, taking a look down in the hallways, seeing how communities come together. And I thrive on that. I think when you're part of community or part of a school district, you always bond together. You develop closeness, and that's your identity. Loss of service, loss of function, it's hard to grasp. Sandwich generations or parents of newborns. When you think of what builds our community, the hospital always comes to my mind. Our safety, how we devote our volunteer hours, the quality that we come to provide, the time factor. If by given choice, and we have a healthcare system that's large enough, and they're managing 2 or 3 locations, you hope the administration is strong enough to be able to provide leadership in all of those locations, and then retain the ownership to a local area so that we have the ability to take care of our own. And it's a great time. Last year I was just kind of coming at council trying to ask about, can we be putting some capital improvements towards Sartori? Can we build a community development into that? Can we please not play into the national movement of trying to allow the healthcare systems and the insurance companies and these LLCs and software companies monopolize so much that they take away our ownership, our identities, and it's our protective layers, our people that come before they get 5 minutes. Thank you very much for 5 minutes, because it's life, you know. In time of need, you don't realize how valuable it is. When you have to go an extra 25 minutes, that's an hour. And it doesn't seem like much for a community, Black Hawk County, of 140,000 people. But when you look at our compass beyond that, the people coming in have further than what we do. And growth and ownership of our community always means that we outgrow, but we don't tear down. We grow more, kind of like the public safety buildings and locations, but it's also partnering with the healthcare system. And I just, one of the biggest things that I believe in these cornerstones, and I believe in just one verse, 1 John 15:13. There's no greater love than to lay down one's life for one's friend. Sartori expected that to live forever. It was a gift to council. It was supposed to be on our watch that we build it up, not tear it down. We need to fund it. We need to find community. We need to have leadership that can take and get donations and make sure that those donations are put to proper use and not bled out. I think it's a great opportunity to keep it, maybe get it back into either a city-owned, a county-owned hospital. There's so many visions that could be had. This is the one opportunity that the public can come and say, we deal with our own loss, but we don't have to suffer the community loss. And the factor of what it's going to do from generations after us, also a little bit before us, and the time factor that we can give to the 6 surrounding states. This site is already a certificate of need, and we have to fight hard to not let Mercy One take it as a removal and a redistribution. They can apply for a new certificate. Ryan Meyer's dad sits on the board of certificates.
Time, Mr. Oren Jensen.
Please let him know to apply for a new one.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Oren Jensen.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else for public comment this evening? Just name and address, please.
Bob Manning, 2908 West 3rd Street, Cedar Falls. First of all, congratulations to the 2 new council members. We hope to be seeing lots of you this year, and we're marveled by your intelligence and your attitude on coming into the city, and that's great. I wanted to mention, and perhaps you covered this at goal setting, Mayor, but and I wasn't able to attend, so. But number of doors that I knocked on, they talked about baseball and youth baseball. And I know we've had a chat about that one time, but unfortunately, they didn't say the exact words. But Waterloo Cedar Falls has been blackballed by the other communities that offer baseball, and they don't want to come here because our facilities aren't up to par. And we compare that with Cedar Rapids and the suburbs of Des Moines and Iowa City and whatnot. So I don't like to bring up negative things. I would present it just as something for you all to consider in your planning going forward. The parents would say, gosh, every weekend we're either going to Cedar Rapids, Iowa City, one of the suburbs of Des Moines, some of the smaller cities near Cedar Rapids and Iowa City. And so it was a real concern to a number of people. The first time it was mentioned to me, I was kind of surprised by it. But when it came up and up and up on, perhaps 2 out of 10 responses were about baseball. And although I'm a baseball fanatic, I was pleasantly surprised to hear that the city is considering doing more than what we've done in the past. If this is going to be the leisure services year, I don't know if it's been named that way, but that's one of the things I like to be involved with. The other one is just a very minor one, but this is something that jumped out at me. They'd like us to stock our ponds with fish more often. Fishing is a tremendous can be a tremendous family activity, and there's a number of people that will spend a lot of money on a fishing boat and spend a lot of money going out of town or out of state, and as often as we can keep them here, we'd like to keep them here. So just wanted to pass on what I heard out on the trails and whatnot, and thanks very much.
Thank you, Mr. Manning. And just to quickly answer your first point there about the baseball complexes, that was something that we discussed and budgeted, and the CIP was moving ahead with designs and plans around the potential multi-sport turf facility. So it is something we're working on this year. Thank you. Is there anyone else for a public comment this evening? All right, seeing none, that'll move us to the staff updates. We do not have any, although one I wanted to share, just a reminder to everyone and those watching and attending. The second meeting in January is on Martin Luther King Jr. Day, so that'll be on the Tuesday, the 20th, rather than Monday, the 19th. So make sure to check your calendars appropriately. Otherwise, it takes us to old business. Item number 2, passed ordinance number 3138, vacating a portion of Hudson Road right-of-way south of West Ridgeway Avenue upon its third and final consideration. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Motion seconded, and any discussion from council? And seeing none, any from the public? Just name, please.
Kip Jordan. I had a chance to drive out by there, 3 roundabouts leading up to Hudson Road. And as you come off of 20 into Cedar Falls northbound, you come to that intersection of Hudson Road and Green Hill. And I can see the advantage right now of taking the DOT right-of-way and giving it into a layout that is going to increase the square footage. But something in my gut says that in the future, we're going to be taking those roundabouts out, and we're going to need to get land acquisition in again. And the common sense thought is the developers are already getting X amount. It's already plotted. What's the difference of either assessing a property mowing or us mowing the right-of-way X amount of extra years, but having that buffer in case and when we might need to put a turn lane in for growth opportunities, so that we're thinking function, form, traffic coming in. I see healthcare as drawing it in. I see it as we're weak on a lot of things within our community, but we don't have to be weak on what we already have in our possession, giving away, only to have to come back and take it for right-of-way purposes or tear up someone's yard again. So, thinking forward.
Thank you, Ms. Jordan. Excuse me. Is there anyone else for a public comment on this item tonight? All right, seeing none, I'll bring it back to council. Any further discussion? And if not, requires a roll call vote, please.
All members voting aye, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. That item carries. That moves us to the consent calendar. The following items will be acted upon by a voice vote and a single motion without separate discussion unless someone from the council or public requests that a specific item be considered separately. Are there any requests from council? And I did want to share quick, we have an appointment for the Human Rights Commission. Priscilla, she had an appointment, so she wasn't able to make it tonight, but did say she wished she could have been here, but had to reschedule. So, any items that you guys would like to pull this evening? Seeing none, any from the public? Did you have any? 4. Okay, any others from the public? All right, seeing none, I'll look for a motion to approve items 3 through 8 of the consent calendar, excluding item number 4.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and seconded, and all those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? That motion carries. And that moves us to item number 4, receive and file the resignation of Craig Fairbanks as a member of the Housing Commission. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Motion seconded, and just name again for the record, please.
Kim Jordan, thank you very much, Councilman Fairbanks, for your service on that. And I appreciate the fact that you're looking at your service here, and not that there might be conflict, but you're removing yourself from and focusing more to the council. That's why I pulled. Looking at some of our additional boards and looking at
Mr. Orgis, I'm going to keep this specific to this item. Is there
Okay.
anything related just to the resignation?
Yeah, we have additional council members that are sitting on boards that are going to potentially be conflict or cause maybe recusing themselves.
Again, Mr. Jordan, that doesn't
If-
relate to this item specifically. We
just-
will, just so you know, in the next council meeting, we'll have our conflict of interest policies,
Okay.
which do state whatever boards and commissions council members may be on.
Because we're in charge as a body
Again, Mr.
here.
Jordan, it's not on
Yeah.
this item, so
Okay.
thank you. Anyone else for discussion on this item tonight? All right, seeing none, bring it to council. Any further discussion?
Mr. Mayor, correct me if I'm wrong. To Councilmember Fairbanks' decision, you're not allowed to serve on a city board and council at the same time. Is that correct?
That's correct. And Attorney Rogers, you can speak to if you want just the technicalities, but this is because you can't serve on multiple commissions within the city as an individual, correct?
Correct. And I appreciate Councilmember Fairbanks' resignation, timely as it is.
So thank you, Attorney Rogers. Any other discussion from council? All right, seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? You're out, Craig. Wait, sorry, was that not worded the nice? I mean, thank you for your service.
Thank you for my service. You're welcome. Thank you. And I am out, yes.
All right, that moves us to the resolution calendar. The following items will be acted upon by a roll call vote on a single motion without separate discussion unless someone from the council or public requests that a specific item be considered separately. I'm quickly first going to pull item 13. And then are there any others from council?
13.
Item,
What was that?
13.
items 16, 22, and 25. I need to abstain.
And quick background of those, we just appreciate Councilmember Fairbanks reaching out. Because of his time on the Housing Commission, he was involved in approving these three items through the Housing Commission. And so appreciate you calling out that. Attorney Rogers confirmed this, that if you've approved it as a commission member, typically that's the whole point, to having multiple levels of approvals, is not the same people are approving it. So Attorney Rogers agreed it'd be appropriate to have Councilor Fairbanks
Agreed.
abstain for those items. Any others from council? I'm sorry I took yours, Gil. All right, otherwise, any from the public? All right, seeing none otherwise, we'll look for a motion to approve items 9 through 26 of the resolution calendar, excluding items 13, 16, 22, and 25.
So moved.
Second.
Motion seconded and requires a roll call vote, please.
All members voting aye, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. That motion carries. Takes us to item 13. Look for a motion to approve resolution approving the city administrator recruitment brochure recommended by the city's contracted executive search firm, Colin Banzinger and Associates.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and seconded. Quick reason I pulled this, Gil, Counselor, might be your similar one, but I know I discussed with a few of you, there was a few wording items in there that we just felt maybe were a little too direct and maybe should soften up a bit around just the role of the position. I don't know, Counselor, I know you were the last one I talked to, if you wanted to.
Yeah, if I may.
Yeah.
We're voting on approving this brochure. But, I mean, there are grammar errors, I think in the second paragraph, for example, where they say "and canoeing as while," and it's meant to be as well as other things. So I would ask that our, the group that we're paying money to fix this, and actually there are a couple of other areas that need to be fixed grammatically. I also do not like language in the paragraph that's headed "the ideal candidate." in particular, where it says the council is looking for someone to work with them as a partner, a supporter, and a trusted advisor while recognizing he, she is their employee. I would just put a period after trusted advisor and get rid of that language. We're soliciting somebody for employment that presumably is a professional. We don't have to tell them they can be hired and fired. And I think that kind of speaks negatively about the environment that I don't think they'll be walking into, and it projects something that's not true, I don't think. The other thing that I would change is I think I would just simply get rid of the next sentence, which is the individual will ensure the council members are all treated equally, receive the same information at the same time, and that there will be no surprises. I don't know that we need that sentence. I think that goes without saying. It's also, unless the individual, he or she, is talking to somebody contemporaneously as a group and, and having troubles with open meetings laws, there's no way that people can be informed all at the same time. So I think any individual would understand that we need good communication. I think that that language there is off-putting to any future applicants. So my point is, if we're approving it, do we approve it and say, but conditioned upon these modifications, and we get to see those modifications again, or do we have to kick this down the road to the next council meeting, have it cleaned up and those edits brought? That's the path that I would prefer. So assuming that that's the path, I would not vote in favor of this tonight. So.
And we discussed this, some of the cleanup pieces. I know there were some grammatical items that Jen, I believe we already worked with the consultant to clean up since this was sent out. But then the changes for the ideal candidate, those were ones that we knew were substantive and may have been put in based on the conversation with somebody, so we figured better to bring that to this group. We can approve it just with that direction to make some of those changes and not have to bring it back. So I maybe look for your two recommendations were put a period after the trusted advisor and then take out the while recognizing he or she is their employee. And then also that second sentence after that, the individual will ensure the council members are all treated equally, et cetera, to the period. Is that kind of your
That is
recommended
correct,
change?
yes. So the grammatical errors and then those two substantive changes, yes.
Any discussions from the rest of the group on
Mr.
those
Mayor.
edits? Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with Councilmember Hawbaker, and I do think, and to be honest, I haven't had a chance to review it. I do think we maybe got an additional edited version of this, maybe from the company today, late this afternoon.
Oh.
So some of these may have already been addressed, but I'm certain what Councilmember Hawbaker is suggesting obviously is probably still there, and I would echo his sentiments. Thanks.
Thank you, Counselor.
Mr. Mayor?
Yep.
Mine was some of the numbers, and Jen and I have talked about some employment numbers, that sort of thing, but I was also looking at if we're really married to this salary range. You know, if we look at what we're looking for the candidate and what their requirements are going to be, you know, we are probably, when we look at the top 10 average salaries, we're about $150,000 in the average. I don't know if 70,000, you know, I've worked with plenty of people that the people they manage make a lot more money than what they make. So if we're just looking at it, well, we got to have this person make more money than the people they're managing, that doesn't always happen in the world. So I guess I would look at, well, what are we basing this salary range on? How did we come up with that salary range?
And if you're okay with it, I'm just noting these down, and we'll just address the big points one by one. So I've got that. If we want to start with those quick changes, are there any other topics to want to look at reviewing as we go through this discussion? Kelly, anything from you? I don't have your picture pulled up.
I'm good.
Okay, so I've got Gil on the employment numbers cleanup. Did you already cover that with Jen then?
Yes, I did.
Okay. So the two things we've got then are those wording changes and then reviewing the salary range. So if we want to go with the wording change one first, any other discussion on that, about those changes to the ideal candidate description? Any opposition to the changes?
No.
Okay, otherwise we'll take that and we'll do a final vote once we get to it, but I'll take that as we're okay with that change. And then salary range, just to speak to that quick, the consultant in there, if you saw in the packet, they did do a salary comparison to other peer cities, kind of within our same size range, and that's where they came with the 220 to 260 recommendation. When I did the top 20 cities in Iowa comparison, Back when we had the former conversation, the average came out at about exactly 230, which is what previous city administrator was paid. So my thoughts are, from talking with the consultant and doing the research, just on if we're hiring this candidate, if we price lower than this, they won't take a job because they can get some more money going somewhere else. So it's what the market bears, and I think it's
I think it's
appropriate
worth
for
having
the
a
market.
discussion of why, so people are going, wow, where did this range come from?
Yep.
Did we just pick it out of the air, or what sort of considerations were given? So,
And do we have, Jen, in the
I was
packet,
gonna say, I think Bailey might have some info for you that she has.
Perfect.
Yeah, so a little additional info. Like the mayor said, that was kind of a good summary of it, but the consultant did do a market study of compensation of city administrators' current salaries across kind of the near Midwest, focusing on Iowa, Illinois, kind of Minnesota as well, were some of the areas that they looked at for current salaries. And it did come out on average to be 230, like the mayor mentioned, which they looked at that. They also looked at our housing market in Cedar Falls area, as well as our current pay grades across the city. And that's where they came up with their recommendation of 220 to 260 for the salary range.
and I don't believe, Jen, that's not in the packet, is it, those salary comparisons?
I don't think that the detail was in there, but
Yeah.
we can sure
Yep.
get that to council members if they'd like.
So we can make sure and send it out. And I know, Counselor Nagel, I told you I would send my past research, and I forgot to do that over the weekend. So, but I would say that was the basis, was looking at the comparatives and just trying to price this with the market, and to attract somebody. And it seemed like the feedback and the consensus was, meeting with all the council members and community members, staff, was we're really looking for someone that is mid to senior in their career experience. We're looking for someone with a background in city administration that can bring that expertise. And this was kind of that salary range. They said to put us at the point where we don't say we're willing to pay, I think the highest one in Iowa is 360, 70,000-ish. We're definitely not looking to go to that point, but we know we're looking for an experienced individual, and I feel this price range puts us right about what the market says someone that has that experience will be looking for.
Mr. Mayor?
Yeah.
I'd also like to add, I think it's important to consider that the role of this person is, kind of a 24/7 job. I personally hope that this person is really much like our mayor, the face of our community, that when they're out grocery shopping, that they're, when they're attending our local community events, that people feel comfortable to come up to them, to talk about their work, to talk about what's happening in our community. And that takes a lot of time. You got to have a really strong background to be able to do that. You have to really, have a great professional attitude, but also personal skills that, I think we're fortunate in our mayor, he has those skills, but, that when you're paying someone, you have to consider that, and you have to sometimes, pay for those skills. So I'm happy to pay that. I think it's worth that salary, and I think that we'll find ourselves some really great candidates that not only have the professional background, but also have those soft skills that I think are really important to our community.
Mr. Mayor, if I don't disagree with you. I think what I see it as is it's akin to sort of a school principal or a superintendent, where you're just always on call. You have to you're at all the school events, no matter the time of day. Problems arise not with regard to the hours of the workday, but they just arise because the city is a 24/7 responsibility. So I echo those sentiments.
Thank you, councilors. And I know, speaking for myself, when I sat down with the consultant, one of the big things I kind of said is, to me, this role is not a manager. We've got some amazing department heads that do an incredible job, and I think we're really looking for someone that's bringing that leadership piece in, that knows how to coordinate large development projects, can bring different pieces together, has that industry connection experience for how to do the public-private partnerships. And so that was a big piece I know I was looking for, is not really just looking for someone to come in and manage our department heads, because I think we've got some incredible staff that do a great job. It's a role that brings a whole new level of experience and background with it, beyond just being a people manager. I think I would encourage the community to read the packet here, mainly the ideal candidate part, because I think it does a good job of explaining that type of person we're looking for in a role like this.
That's the conversation we needed to have.
Thank you, Counselor.
welcome.
Which actually,
You're
good point
welcome.
of, you were so wise and
This is why you got reelected, Gil.
Talk about the ideal candidate.
Yeah, there you go.
you made us think it was our idea to have the conversation. So, any other discussion from council? All right, seeing none, any from the public? Just name for the record, please.
I have not read it yet, but is this required to live in Cedar Falls as well?
Yes, it is.
It
Yep.
is stated there.
Yep.
Okay. I think that's important as well as what Council Representative Chrisman had just echoed, so
Yep.
appreciate that.
Thank you. Anyone else for public comment this evening? All right, seeing none, any other further discussion? Otherwise requires a roll call vote, please. Oh, wait, hold on, excuse me. We did not, just to clarify, roll call vote with those amendments to take out that sentence and a half. If everyone's good with that.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
All members voting aye, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. That motion carries. And then if everyone's okay with it, we'll take these next three items as a group since they were all pulled for the similar reason. So I'll read the three so everyone knows what we're working on. So we'll look for a motion to approve these three items. Item 16, resolution approving and authorizing execution of an amended forgivable loan agreement and promissory note relative to a community development block grant, owner-occupied rehabilitation program at 1115 Birchwood Street. Item 22, resolution approving and accepting the contract and bond of Municipal Pipe Tool Company LLC for the 2025 CDBG Sanitary Sewer Rehabilitation Project. And item 25, resolution receiving and filing and setting January 2nd, 2026 as the date of public hearing on the proposed plan specifications and estimate of costs for the South Main Street Sanitary Sewer Extension Project.
So moved.
Second.
Motion seconded, and any discussion from council? Council, I don't know if you want to give a quick, you kind of already discussed it, but if you want.
Yeah, it's just when you review it, it's like you have to resign from a commission because you're not allowed to vote in two places. It only makes sense that this would be a spot that I would need to abstain from since I took part in those discussions and voting. But that's it.
Thank you, Counselor. Appreciate you catching that. So, any other further discussion from council?
Mr. Mayor, just again commend Councilmember Fairbanks for having the foresight to think about this ahead of time. It's always kind of a weird, murky gray area on some of these items, so the fact that you just are in front of it and abstaining from it versus leaving it kind of ambiguous is probably better. So thank you.
I very much appreciate you checking ahead of time. So it's easier for me to check with Kevin on things outside than just putting them on the spot in the middle of a meeting. So, and seeing no further discussion from council, any from the public? All right, seeing none, requires a roll call vote, please. We're gonna do this 3 times.
Is that the right one?
Yeah, we're just doing one.
There's three of them.
You do abstain.
Yeah.
Oh, crap. Then I didn't.
So we're voting on item 16 in the computer, Mr. Mayor. Are we voting for all three?
Yeah, it's all three of them, though. Aaron.
Yours go through, Aaron.
Oh, sorry, I just,
6 voting aye and 1 abstention.
there you go.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. That motion carries. That takes us to bills and claims. Do we have a motion to allow bills and claims for January 5th, 2026?
So moved.
Second.
Someone's got to second it. Motion and seconded. Any discussion from council?
2 hours.
Any from the public? All right, seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That motion carries. Any council updates or announcements?
Call vote on bills and
You need a roll call.
Oh,
for-
do we need to?
Yeah,
it
you
seemed
need
a
a
little
roll.
off.
Yeah.
So bring that back. We'll do a roll call vote on the bills and claims.
Canfield's chuckling somewhere.
Yeah.
He's gone for one meeting.
Yeah.
It all falls apart.
There we go.
Almost abstained again.
all members voting aye,
Use
Mr.
that
Mayor.
button hardly ever. So-
Thank you, Madam Clerk. That motion carries. Again, any council updates or announcements? New Year's resolutions you want to be held accountable to? by the entire public of Cedar Falls? No, that's boring. All right, none on council referrals, didn't have any in writing, any pressing. Otherwise, we'll look for a motion for item 28, move to executive session to discuss property acquisition per Iowa Code Section 21.51J to discuss the purchase or sale of particular real estate only where premature disclosure could be reasonably expected to increase the price the governmental body would have to pay for that property or reduce the price the governmental body would receive for that property. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Spoken and seconded and requires a roll call vote, please.
All members voting aye, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. That'll move us to executive session. The meeting is not technically over. We will come back to adjourn the meeting, but no further business will be discussed after the executive session. So please feel free to stay around. Do not feel you have to. Have a great night, and we will see everyone on the 20th, Tuesday, not the Monday of Martin Luther King Day. So thank you, everyone.